Mr. Sayed or Carney links, we do not know.
Truck just arrived now. Fuck, the truck arrived. They're busy offloading the cigarettes now in Benoni. I'm rushing there. I'm going to quickly pick up the informant to show me the place.
That's a message that Mr. Pretorius has sent to Mr. Sayed, and he has now forwarded it to General Khan.
Listen, must I send the boys there to Benoni as well? I can send them as well to Benoni.
And that we understand to be Mr. Sayed. We may be wrong saying that he can send the boys to Benoni.
Okay, let me just pick up the informant quickly and ID the place. I've just spoke to Colonel Singh now as well. He's with the general. We're quickly going to arrange people so we can eat there, because you know if it's in a warehouse, there's going to be a lot of cops involved there. So I want the big brass to be there so they can assist us and take over the scene.
So that again is Mr. Pretorius saying he has spoken to a Colonel Singh who is with General Khan, and he wants General Khan to be there because he wants Big Brass there to be able to take over the scene. Then there is a message just okay from Mr. Sayed to General Khan, and then a series of further messages that he forwards from Mr. Pretorius to General Khan.
Let's hit them hard. Let's hit them hard. I'm rushing to pick up the informer quickly so he can show me the place. We're going to moor them hard today.
That message speaks for itself. It's Mr. Pretorius.
But you must come there.
And General Khan to come.
But you must come there. And you must try for the general also to come out. Hey, arrange with the general, then you come here, man. Hey, arrange with the general, then you come here, man.
Arrange with the general so that you can come there. There's then a call from Mr. Sayed to General Khan. Those earlier messages are at 11:23. At 11:24, there's a call that isn't answered. And then from 11:50, there are a series of photographs of people lying on the ground, presumably having been arrested or apprehended, and of a truck, which we see at 6043 that has boxes in it, and at the foot of 6048 we see some cigarette packets which we can infer were found in the boxes.
You stopped the flight?
I'm not sure. I mean, do we need a disclaimer here? I mean, these are people lying on the ground. They don't appear to have been shot.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
And if we can just scroll through those pictures.
Mr. Chaskasson, you said there are boxes of cigarettes. Where do we see that?
I saw some boxes of cigarettes on the ground at a certain moment, not many. I'm inferring that the boxes, well, if one goes, for instance, to the top of 6055, one sees an open box with sort of blue-colored stuff, blue-colored boxes inside it. And then if we go higher, one sees at the foot of 6048. And if we can zoom in on that, I think that those would be examples of the contraband cigarettes that were allegedly found at the scene. If you look at that together with the open box at 6055, but the suggestion certainly is that these boxes are all, and at 6061 as well, are boxes of cigarettes. There are later voice notes which I haven't actually prepared as media files.
For the record, maybe I should say they do not look branded, the boxes.
I think that they may be branded. I think that they may be branded. If we zoom in on the boxes on the ground, I think we might see some branding.
It's brown.
Mr. Chaskasson, I think Chair is referring to the big boxes.
The big boxes, the cardboard boxes.
The cardboard boxes.
They certainly are not branded.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, what was on the floor, I think are obviously cigarette packs, at least.
I seem to remember media files where Mr. Pretorius actually says there are cigarettes underneath packets of sweets and bananas.
You can always come back to it if it's important, right?
So the one on 6048, those are packs of cigarettes.
Yes, inside the cardboard boxes would be the cigarettes, and they would be covered on the truck. So if, for instance, we look at the back of the truck on page 6046, we see a whole lot of plastic bags of sweets, and behind them the cigarettes.
At least the one cardboard box that is open, you can see that what is inside those cardboard boxes looks like the cigarette packs that are on the floor on page 6048.
Indeed. What I didn't do is download, it's a video file where he's describing what's taking place, but we can arrange for that briefly to be shown tomorrow. But what I do want to draw attention to is the response of General Khan at 6069, where he says to Mr. Sayed, "Great work, brother." And again, this is something that I think we need to step back at and consider. What we have is a crime intelligence officer whose job it is to police the illicit tobacco market, who is complementing a player in the tobacco market for essentially doing the work of crime intelligence in relation to a competitor of his. And it looks very much like what is going on here is that the crime intelligence resources are being used to enable Connie links to take out a competitor or to raid a competitor in the name of the law. That inference that we draw is reinforced by a number of exchanges between Mr. Sayed and Carnelinks, where if we go to page 5966,
sorry, perhaps we should have read the text below the one that says great work or something. That's where Mr. Sayed is saying all thanks to you, basically.
Indeed. No, my brew, Jazakallah to you.
Yes,
Thanks to you.
yes, yes.
And then we have a series of exchanges between Mr. Sayed and Mr. Khan, where Mr. Sayed is General Khan, where Mr. Sayed is essentially asking General Khan to target a competitor of his called Protoba. It starts at 5966. At the foot of 5966 on the 11th of June 2021, where Mr. Sayed says, Protoba, factories in Old Union Cotton Mills Factory, East London, they'll know, can't get it wrong. Over the page, please brew, they're manufacturing cigarettes, Pacific, Pegasus. I need to F them out of sight. And General Khan says, okay, bro. It's a month and a bit later, Mr. Sayed sends to General Khan a SAPS tweet recording a successful raid at the Protoba factory. And he says underneath that on 6186, this is the same effer in East London, Protoba, that's busy with S ... there. Govinder's guys must seize it. And at 6190, Mr. Sayed sends to General Khan a tweet from issued by SAPS, which describes a raid on Protoba. Not only does he forward the tweet, but he also forwards what looks like an extract of a SAPS register of what has been seized. Because if we see the next chat, also on 23rd of July, 12613, and we zoom in there, what it shows is particulars of the goods detained. And it says 152 times 200 kilogram boxes of raw tobacco, 1127 times 200 kilograms of cut rag. And he says underneath, pro tobacco, all seized. Seems these people are doing funnies via a bond store. This is all Mr. Sayed, and he says next week they're going to pounce on the bond store. So he's been given advance notice that SAPS is going to raid Protobac's bond store, where they are doing something in relation to excise tax. And he then complains that there is a discrepancy between what is reflected as having been seized and the output of that, because he says after next week they're going to pounce on the bond store. He says the cut rag is imported from Zim as raw lamina at 200 kilograms, but this is contradictory, because cut rag, one can fill 100 to 110 kilograms per box. I'll keep you in the loop. And then underneath, Protoba is looking at under entries and penalties of 120 bar. He's saying they're going to be fined 120 million rands for tax evasion or excise tax evasion. Protoba is not the only competitor who is being targeted in these chats between Mr. Sayed and General Khan. There is another competitor, Gold Leaf Tobacco, whose primary brand is Remington Gold. And we see several chats where Mr. Sayed and General Khan exchange information about raids on Gold Leaf and the seizure of Remington. So if we go to page 451, there on the 20th of April 2021, General Khan forwards to Mr. Sayed a SAPS report on a Customs and Excise Act, Tobacco Control Products Act operation, which is against Remington Gold. And we see Remington Gold mentioned at page 452, where the operations, the Parase, SAPS Parase conducted operations on 1 JJ wholesalers, 2 Delight wholesalers, and the goods seized in Parase SAP 13, in the SAP 13 register, 110 times carton Remington Gold. 50 times cartons, that says Pegasus, I think it's Pegasus, and if you recall from Protoba, one of the Protoba brands was Pegasus. Mr. Sayed's response is brilliant, Brew. General Khan says, did Green tell you? And so General Khan expects that someone called Green would already have briefed Mr. Sayed on this raid on one of his competitors, or involving his competitor. We see another operation targeting Remington on the 11th of June 2021, that's at 5969. And there Mr. Sayed says, Slam, do you have anyone at Komatipoort, the border between South Africa and Mozambique, that can check if they intercepted the truck for us, if they intercepted the truck for us? So the executive from Carney Links wants to know from SAPS if they have intercepted a truck for us. Let me ask, the one I sent to Hogg was intercepted in Bela Bela, waiting for feedback. Coffee Fontaine, it's positive, they're busy now. The other truck was caught other side of the border over the page. Bela Bela truck cannot get through to people on scene. We flagged about 15 trucks of GL, that's Gold Leaf, the Remington company. And now it's paying off. What was on? There's a Y, and then the answer comes Remington Gold. How many cases? Truckload. Now, while this is taking place, we see a parallel set of chats where, although Mr. Sayed is very enthusiastic about raids on competitors, he is particularly unenthusiastic about general attempts to crack down on the illicit tobacco industry, and in particular about the activities of Mr. Yusuf Abramji, who was at the time running a campaign against illegal tobacco.
But before you go to those, these which we just looked at, this is Mr. Syed and who?
Mr. Syed is communicating with General Khan.
Your mic is off.
General Khan, the chats are between Mr. Syed and General Khan, where there may well be chats that are forwarded from chats that somebody else has sent to Mr. Syed and that he's forwarding to General Khan, but the third party we can't identify because we don't have Mr. Syed's chats, we only have General Khan's chats.
Okay, so what we looked at, what you showed us now in that screen, is a series, all of them from Mr. Syed. Where do we see that they are going to General Khan?
Oh, because these chats are taken from General Khan's phone.
They were received from his phone.
So
that's
there
how
are
we know.
chats,
Okay.
so anything in white on these chats is chats that the sender sends to General Khan.
Yes.
Anything in green is what General Khan sends to the sender.
You've answered me, thank you. Thanks, Mr.
If we go to 6107, there we see that on the 7th of July, 2021, Mr. Syed forwards to General Khan a post from Mr. Abramji, which is taking issue with the scale of tax evasion and tax criminality in the illicit tobacco industry. And it quotes, a post quotes Mr. Abramji, just when South Africa needs every cent available to combat the pandemic and the country is crying out for the enforcement of our laws, criminals are being allowed to loot the nation of billions of rands by making and selling tax-evading cigarettes, warns Yusuf Abramji, founder of the Tax Justice South Africa. We need an immediate inquiry into the industry to investigate how this is being allowed to happen. The new report by market researchers Ipsos, which is published today, reveals 2 in 3 shops in the hotspot provinces of Free State, Gauteng and Western Cape sell illegal cigarettes. Illegal cigarettes are on sale in nearly half, 41% of all shops nationwide. And then there are a whole lot of statistics. And down at 6108, we see a complaint about gold leaf tobacco, which Mr. Syed wouldn't presumably object to. It says brands belonging to Gold Leaf Tobacco Corporation are winning the illegal price war with a number of its South African brands purchased below the MCT. That's the minimum collectible tax. I don't know if we've discussed it, but that is the total amount of tax that would be paid on a packet of cigarettes. And what these studies are showing is that cigarettes are retailing at a price which is below the tax that ought to be paid on them. So there has to be tax evasion because it's not even a cost price. It's below a tax, the amounts. The retail price is below the amount of tax that ought to be paid by the retailer. Never mind the retailer's purchase price itself. So this post says that brands belonging to Gold Leaf are winning the illegal price war with a number of its South African brands purchased below the MCT rising by 25%. The number of brands belonging to Carney Links bought below MCT has rocketed by a third. And so he's not only pointing a finger at Gold Leaf, he's pointing a finger at Carney Links, saying that the number of your brands that are purchased below the minimum collectible tax, which means they must be involve tax evasion, has rocketed by a third. And then there is a lengthy description of the problems that this causes to the country, and at the bottom of the post, one sees hashtag lock them up, and for media queries, contact Yusuf Abramji. Yusuf at taxjusticesa.coza, and a phone number is given. The response of Mr. Sayed to this is to forward to General Khan, who ought to be investigating illegal tobacco, "A Brumji going to get effed up, bro?" General Khan responds back, "Yes, F him up, bro. He must stay in his lane." So what we have here, and sorry, Mr. Sayed says 100%. What we have here is a general in-crime intelligence whose job it is to investigate the illegal tobacco industry, agreeing with the executive of a company whose brands on a large scale are being sold below the minimum collectible tax rate. In other words, at a price which must involve tax evasion, that the person raising objections to this state of affairs needs to get effed up and must stay in his lane. That, and if we can just pause here, what makes this so pernicious is that these laws, it's not that these laws are not being administered, it's that they are being administered selectively. So what one sees is, in the earlier chats, a series of exchanges between Mr. Sayed, who's the Carney Links executive, and General Khan, enthusiastically applauding raids of illegal tobacco products that belong to competitors, either Protoba or Gold Leaf. But when the finger is pointed at Carney Links, there's, abusive comments about the person pointing the finger and saying, "Stay in your lane." And there is then a second episode of this nature, which we see at the foot of page 6458. And this is now in October 2021. The first set of posts that we saw was in July.